Good morning, brothers and sisters. Welcome to the latest little video from Father Mark in the garden and the kitchen. So today I'm going to show you a bit of my orchard, which is right in front of the house. So let us begin the tour. We start with the first little tree that I just planted this year is a white mulberry. And then we've got a pecan nut here. It's only been in a few years. I've got a bigger one over there behind that cage. We'll get there in a minute, but I planted this here so that we'd have nice summer shade over the house garden. After that, I've got a nashi pear. You're probably wondering why I've got this fence around here, but that's to keep the marauding kangaroos out, because when the trees are still young, the kangaroos will make mincemeat of them, so to speak. Then I have a red pear, also protected from the kangaroos. And then I've got a white Genoa fig. The figs don't seem to attract the kangaroos, probably because of that bitter white sap. And then I've got an olive tree here, which I also had a net around to protect it from the kangaroos while it was small. But it's big enough now to be able to cope with the loss of a few leaves. Then I have another olive. These ones along here that I've just planted, they're all giant olives for pickling. Then we've got a locust tree, which also was being attacked by the kangaroos, hence the cage. And then a Packham pear, which is the big green pear. So I got quite a few of those last year. After that, we've got two chestnut trees here. You need two to pollinate. One is grafted and the other one's from seed. And then finally here, also just planted this year, is a female pistachio nut tree, which will eventually have to be caged, like these three here. So I've got a female, a male and another female. So they say you can have up to 9 females for one male, and it's pollinated through the wind. And I've built these cages this year. Thanks be to God, the providence of God. God always looking out for me. They were pulling down the fences around the school and putting new fences up. So I ended up with a whole lot of poles, which have done a great job of protecting all of my fruit trees from the 28s, which are green parrots, and also from kangaroos and crows. This is a late peach, which comes in March next year, the big yellow ones that you see in the tins of preserved ones. And then from Jennifer, I've got this red apple, which is red on the outside and red on the inside. And finally, another olive tree. Like I said last week, into the artichokes, you can't have too many artichokes, you can't have too many olives. Another olive tree here. So those three there sort of been grown in the last 3 or 4 years, whereas these bigger ones here, there's another 4 olive trees there. They're about 7-8 years old. First one there is leaning over like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, but it's managing to hold itself up. Not sure how, but started to grow crooked. I'm sort of stuck with that, but anyway, it seems to be holding itself up. Then we've got another fig. This is a reddish fig, a big one. This is a cedro tree, which unfortunately has been attacked so many times by the kangaroos that it looks like it's dying, but my cousins are buying me a new one. Then we've got a pink mulberry. So I've got 5 different varieties of mulberries. This is the pink one. And you can see in there, they look like you would eat them when they're white, but you have to actually wait for them to get pink before you eat them. Nice big one there. Some more there. Then we've got the first of the nectarines. So I've got 3 nectarine trees. They also have to be caged. There's one white fleshed one and 2 yellow fleshed nectarines. So as you can see, they've got quite a few fruit on them, thanks be to God. But you can't count your chickens till they hatch, like they say, because unless they're sprayed for fruit fly, you won't get much. And there's a 3rd nectarine tree there. I think that's the yellow flesh one. And next to it is a January peach. So you can see this peach tree has already got peaches, but they're smallish compared to none on that first tree that I showed you. And then when we get to the 3rd peach tree, you'll see they'll be ready in a few weeks' time. Then we've got a persimmon, the hard ones, Fuyu, F-U-Y-U. A lot of people call them Fuji, I don't know why, but the Fuji are the Fuji apple. I think it is a Japanese apple. And I've just planted a little almond tree. There used to be a cherry tree there. I gave it 8 years, but I decided to pull it out because it didn't produce 1 cherry in all those years. So I've got an almond tree now. If it wasn't in the cage, you wouldn't get one, because the beautiful pink and grey galahs, my favourite birds, they would eat every single one of it. Anyway, this is my grandfather's fig here. Actually, no, this is the white flat one, the donut. The next one is my grandfather's. This was supposed to be a giant olive. Turned out to be the smallest one you can imagine. So anyway, sure, it's good for oil. And we come through, that's a Manzanillo olive. So that's a nice size olive for pickling. And next to it is my grandfather's fig tree, which is a brownish one. And then we come to the early peach, which I was speaking about earlier. So this one, these will be ready end of November, early December. Not long to go, whereas the other one is only just flowering. Then I'll stand back. Here's the big pecan nut tree, and we've had a few nuts on it, but it seems we get a heat wave and then a lot of the nuts fall off. So hopefully this year the spring weather will be a bit kinder and not have an early heat wave to cause them to get knocked off. Then we've got a plum here too in this cage. A plum, this is the first time it's had as many flowers as it has this year, so hopefully we'll get a beautiful crop of plums. And then perhaps my favourite fruit, apricots. So this apricot tree is also pretty full of fruit. I don't know if you can see from this angle. Go around. And then in the final row, we've got black mulberries. I'm sure you've all feasted on these in the past. They just keep producing copious amounts of fruit for weeks now. And I'm sure for another few weeks we'll be getting plenty of juicy mulberries. And then this is an avocado tree, one of 3 that I have. This is my Auntie Anna's. She gave it to me 8 years ago. It's not looking very happy. When she was here the other day, I said, Auntie, you need to pray for this tree that'll green up a bit. But it does seem to be getting new shoots now, so hopefully in another few weeks it'll be nice and green. Then we've got, oh, I've suddenly gone blank. Macadamia. It's a macadamia nut tree with its first flowers there. Then this is a red chatoot mulberry. I only just planted it. My 93-year-old mother's godfather gave it to me, the white chatoot and the red chatoot. Another video I'll show you the white chatoot. And then finally another giant olive tree. When I say giant, I don't mean giant as in the tree, but giant as in the olive. So thanks be to God for this amazing abundance of trees and fruit. God provides fruit all year round, as we can see at different times of the year. There's always something to eat. As a child, I always dreamt that when I had a piece of land that no matter what day of the year it was, I'd be able to go out and get something to eat. So thanks be to God where this place here in Chittering has provided that. And of course one person can't eat all of this, so the Lord has given to me so that I can also share its abundance with all those who come here to visit. So thanks be to God, brothers and sisters, and I'll see you another time.